ambient warning. Now I'm running 3300 and 3000, so I just put 2500 mAh warning, so they'll just start flashing. That's the battery warning, so voltage of that battery. So whichever one comes first, I find it's pretty good. So external battery. Now this is the 10.5. That's, I'm pretty sure, is the 3 cell that I'm using to power everything. But you can see it's 10.9 and it's flashing. I got it set, so I don't know why it's flashing before it hits 10.5. So maybe it's under load now. There isn't really much. It's only the VTX and the small camera and the OSD, so there's not really much of a load off it, I wouldn't imagine. Master warning on. Alt ratio. I think that's the setting that will make that mini readouts pop up when if you're at distance and you go down. I forget what default is on that now. I think it's 0.5. Stall speed. So basically, if you have your OSD controlling your throttle, if you come to that 10 kilometers per hour, it will basically help you not stall. Metric on or off, so if you like standard or metric, imperial. So you can have 1 miles an hour up in top right, or you're going to have kilometers per hour, and you'll have it in meters. And personally, I like it off. There's some different ways to have a readout of your GPS coordinates. GPS pass-through. Leave that 0. I don't think that's default for some reason. I think it's supposed to be set to 2, but I'll look that over, and if I ever when I put it back into a plane or whatnot. So low speed limit, if you have your autopilot controlling your throttle. Really haven't used that, so I just left it at default. And we go back to the autopilot settings. Let's take a look. So this is your rate of turn gain, your autopilot rate gain. The rate of turn limit is 30 degrees, so it's like a bank limit. Rate of turn step gain. Now this is just basically to tweak it, and it's like a gain. If you go too high, it'll start like kind of snaking back towards home. So you just do some adjustments on that. I found default pretty good actually in the Bixler. Every aircraft will be different. Max heading change. The autopilot rate of climb gain. So if you've noticed that your plane is, say if you have your cruise altitude set to 100 meters, so 330 feet, and you're at 600 feet, if you notice that you put it into autopilot and it really wants to dive down fast to the set altitude, you can make some adjustments on that. So that's default. Rate of climb limit, so that's the limit of the angle, so 10 degrees. Rate of climb step gain, and that's just the gain, same as the rate of turn. Max altitude change, I really haven't looked into that or left that default anyways. Cruise speed, so this is if you have your ESC plugged into your OSD, and you can set basically the cruise speed that you want to come back when you enable return to home. But now mind you, you need to have your throttle stick pushed up to at least half, or enough to get that speed per se, because if you leave 0 throttle on your stick, the autopilot will not control the speed. So that's kind of weird. So I normally don't have throttle enabled. I don't have the ESC into the OSD. I'd rather control the throttle myself. I do have throttle set as a fail-safe, so So I have about 50% throttle, and with return to home on in the Dragon Link failsafe. Descent mode. There's just a couple different ones. So basically, you can have, no matter where you're to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, no matter where you're to, it'll just like slowly descend home. Or you can have cruise home at the cruise altitude, and you can maintain that altitude, or once you come home you can have it set up to, once it reaches home, that you can then start your descent. So it's like active descent and stuff like that. Throttle step I really haven't messed with because I don't use the ESC and the OSD. Throttle mode, same. Rudder mode, so you can either have it enabled on your autopilot or whatnot. Stabilized gain I really haven't messed with. GPS stabilized gain, I like that at default. Attitude limit, that's default. You can't really see that. Hit distance, so basically that is an imaginary line or imaginary circle around your home position. So if you're out 100 meters, once you come into the 35 meter buffer, say, the OSD will think that is at home, and then it will start to either descend, loiter, however you want. So that's about 100 feet, so that's pretty good. Current waypoint, so if you have waypoints set up, it can hold 19 waypoints, and at any given time you can go to either one, and then you come down here. Say if I want to go to, if I was heading to waypoint 2 and I wanted to go directly to waypoint 10, I'll just go up to 10, come down to next, and visit. I think it's visit, or you can go next. I can't remember. I really haven't messed with the waypoints, so. But normally you would want next set up for your return to home, because it sees home as the next waypoint. And you can also set up a switch on a momentary switch. I used to have it on my trainer switch. So basically, if I wanted to, at any given time, if I seen something or just out cruising around and I wanted to circle that waypoint, not set up now, but it would push the trainer switch and it would log that as the temporary home position, or not really temporary home position, but the temporary waypoint, say. And so I said that, and it normally would pop up over the bottom left voltage there. And then I would come down, and if I wanted to circle it, hold, and so on and so forth, loiter or visit. And then if I wanted to return out of it, just set it back to next and hit return to home again, and it will come back home. The calibration is just, you can calibrate if you have a watt meter or whatnot, or if you're out flying and you notice, okay, well, I burned 2,700 milliamps, just take note of it and compare it to how much you put back in on your charger, and you can make adjustments. And that's for calibrating your RSSI. And safety zone X and Y, so basically you can gotta make sure I don't forget that now, but you can see I'll turn it always over and it just widens it out on the screen, or really tight. And the up and down, so I go max and you'll see like it's really compressed in the center, always out and it's way up. So I think 35 and 10 was pretty good. I had to make some adjustments because looking at the monitor here, for anybody who wanted to see, and my goggles, it's different. So 0 psi, never really bother with that. Custom settings, this is basically normal stuff that you can do in your PC Commander, which is a lot easier to do. So this basically, you just set up control channels and so on and so forth, pan, tilt, gain channel. So if I wanted the GPS gain on my aux7 dial, I would just set that to the 7th channel, like so. What else? Aileron direction. So that's just a way to reverse your aileron and elevator. Now this is where you can reverse the menu direction. So when I push up, I go up, and I go down, and left and right are correct. If I reverse any one of these or put it back to normal, it won't. It'll be opposite. So that's the one good thing about, you get into your OSD and you check it out, and if it's reversed, it's a lot easier to do it through the PC commander. If you come in and you notice right away that up is down and down is up, you just go in and reverse your elevator, and should be good. Output 1. So these are your 4 PWM inputs into your OSD. The OSD can control 4 channels. So if you want it throttle, so if you want your say throttle, if I can find it here. So now you will have to put your ESC into number 1 output, right? And so on and so forth. And you have to assign the corresponding servo into each one. If not, it won't work. And that's just your retail mix and stuff. So this is reset. We're back. That's the 4 main pages. Now just reset your altitude floor. You just hold it for a few seconds. It doesn't give you a confirmation that it's done, but it'll reset the floor. I have the barometer, barometric barometer installed, so it's a lot more accurate than your GPS. If I just had the GPS there now, it would probably say I was like 50-60 feet. It's very inaccurate. So reset your home. You would just hold that for a couple seconds, and your home position should be logged. So we've already went through all this. So sorry for the fairly long video. It was like 26 minutes. I just figured I'd do a little quick intro and rundown of the Dragon OSD. So if you have any questions or anything like that, I'll try to help the best I can. It's pretty much default what I've ever used, so, and it works default. You can just make some adjustments for your model, but I found with the Bixler it was pretty good. It didn't bank too sharp. I did have a bit of an issue with it snaking back towards home, and I didn't really get into changing it per se. I did make some adjustments to the rate of turn, but yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching, and see you later.